City is about 700 miles south of Moscow. It's said to be a key location of Russia's operations in Ukraine. So continuing to follow the latest developments here. Let's also show you a couple of events that we're following. You're taking a look here at a pride parade that's happening in Minneapolis. We also have a live look here as well from New York City. Pride parade happening right now. Well, earlier this week, we were hearing from officials in Minnesota about the latest preparations, safety efforts that were being put in place as well. Let's bring you out to this event next here on Live Now from Fox.
Member of the Human Rights Campaign, as a board member of the Transgender Education Defense Fund, as a board member of the National Gender, the Center for Gender and Sexual Health here in Minneapolis, I stand to say this is a welcoming community for all trans and gender nonconforming people, for all queer people, for people seeking gender affirming health care, for people seeking reproductive rights health care. I'm so proud to live in the city of Minneapolis. I came out in 1992. And the reason why I was able to come out is because in 1975, the city of Minneapolis introduced a human rights ordinance that protected trans and gender nonconforming people. And then in 1983, the state of Minnesota passed a human rights bill that specifically included trans and gender nonconforming people. So policies do matter. And that was the reason I was able to successfully come out in this community and live in my true, authentic self. And you can come to Minneapolis and experience that same opportunity. Next week, I will be introducing a resolution honoring drag as a form of performative art. And we're gonna invite queens from all across the city to come to City Hall and share and celebrate that resolution with us on Wednesday, June 28th. And we are welcoming all trans performers, drag performers from across the country who have been banned in their communities, like in Tennessee or other communities across the country. Minneapolis is a place that you can come, live your craft, live your life, seek the health care you want, need, and deserve, and I will be standing here to welcome you. So honored to celebrate 51 years of Pride in Loring Park this year. I will be at the parade. I'm probably gonna skip the fried pickles, but definitely going for some lemonade. And I will be at the Power to the People stage, the POC place where Black and brown queer folks gather, celebrate, and love and participate with each other. So the next speaker is Outfront Executive Director Kat Ron, and delighted to be here today and look forward to seeing everybody this weekend. Have a great time. Happy Pride.
All right.
Thank you, Council President. It's an honor to share the stage with you today and to be in the space of community for all of us in the LGBTQ community. My name is Kat Roan. I use they and she pronouns. I'm the executive director of Outfront Minnesota, which is our state's largest LGBTQ advocacy organization with a more than 35-year history of advocating for policy in the state and advancing the cultural conversations that help to make this a welcoming state and place for all of us. All of us within the movement, we're deeply concerned about what we saw as a real shift in the policy landscape over the last couple of years, really starting with North Carolina's bathroom bill, HB 2, a few years back, but a movement that's really only accelerated at the statewide level. As Council President Andrea Jenkins mentioned, there have been hundreds of bills just this year that have been introduced seeking to attack the LGBTQ community, whether that's drag performance, school curriculum, and of course access to gender-affirming care for our trans and gender-expansive youth. And here in Minnesota, when we looked at that landscape last year, we said we need to do something. We knew that it was likely that many of our neighboring states, as well as states around the country, would be introducing bans on gender-affirming care, and we know that this care is life-affirming, essential, and effective care for those who receive it. And so here in Minnesota, we made a commitment to do something about that. We worked with the mayor's office and the Trans Equity Council here in Minneapolis on the resolution that was introduced at a city level, with Governor Walz and his team on introducing the executive order that was signed earlier this spring, and at the legislature to pass the trans refuge bill that was signed into law as well this spring. All of these are critical steps for affirming that Minnesota and Minneapolis will continue to be a place where, whether you're visiting or relocating here, you can access the gender-affirming care that you and your family members may need. And that's essential for people right now. I like to say, having talked to a lot of families who are coming from out of state to seek this care, asking questions about, will I be safe here? Will I be welcome here? Will I be able to continue to receive this necessary care? That the business we're in is cultivating hope for people right now in this moment. Whether they're coming here for a few appointments while they wait to see the legal landscape play out in their state, or whether they're uprooting their lives, these are heartbreaking and hard decisions, and the most important thing we can do as Minnesotans is what we've stepped up to do so many times for so many communities, to say, we're here to take care of you, to welcome you in whatever ways you need, and we're going to continue to do the work to make sure that this is a place that you can call home. And we'll keep doing that work. And I'm so glad to be joined by our great partners from Rainbow Health, Transforming Families, TC Pride, who have all been part of this work in various facets. We are continuing to expand and ensure that both folks within the state of Minnesota and those coming to our state will be able to access this critical care. And we know that we have work to do. Passing these orders, passing these laws is a good start, but we need to ensure that folks coming here won't have long wait times, that they'll be able to get access to care providers, that they'll be able to have a place to stay while they're coming here from another state. There's work to be done, and there are great orgs doing this work. And our more than 50-year track record of LGBTQ organizing in the Twin Cities points to a community that has consistently stood up, done the work, and engaged people to make sure that this is a welcoming and safer place for our communities. We'll keep pushing on that. We'll keep moving forward. And I encourage everybody, whether you're here in Minnesota or outside of Minnesota, do your part. Have the conversations with your friends, neighbors, coworkers in your faith communities, and talk about how we can be a welcoming space at whatever level to LGBTQ folks, and in particular, our trans and gender expansive youth who really need it more than ever. So thank you all. I'm really proud to be standing alongside these great folks and excited to introduce my good friend and colleague, Hannah Edwards.
Hey, Hannah.
Good morning, I'm Hannah Edwards. I use she, her pronouns, and I'm the Executive Director of Transforming Families Minnesota. We're Minnesota's largest and longest running parent and caregiver support network for parents and caregivers of trans and non-binary youth. We lead monthly support meetings where we get together and we share resources, we give support, and we also share joy in the journey as we watch our trans children grow and thrive here in the state of Minnesota. I'm really proud to be in a state that is welcoming and affirming to trans youth and their parents. It is a scary time in this nation to be a parent of a transgender child. However, living in Minnesota, it is not lost on me that I am surrounded by trans leaders in every position all over who are out and free to be themselves and be the role models that our children need. Right now, all of our meetings for transforming families are here in the metro area, but we're starting to see this need grow, where we have parents reaching out from Iowa and the Dakotas, wanting to join us, wanting to find that care, wanting to find community. And what I want to take my time today to say is, you're welcome here in Minnesota. We're excited at Transforming Families to welcome you with open arms, welcome you into our chosen family, welcome you into this community that has so many strong, thriving trans leaders. And so if you need help, you know someone who needs help, you want connection to resources or other parents who are going through the same thing, please email, please come find us here at Pride. We're here and we're waiting for you. And so I'm going to keep it short and sweet, but I'm going to turn it on over to Jeremy Hansen-Willis with Rainbow Health.
Hey.
Hello and happy Pride. My name is Jeremy Hansen-Willis. I use he, him pronouns, and I'm the CEO of Rainbow Health. Founded in 1983 as Minnesota's first organization to fight AIDS in Minnesota, we advocate for and serve the health needs of LGBTQ Minnesotans, people living with HIV, and others with barriers to equitable health care. And this year at Rainbow Health, our queer pride is overflowing as we've seen time and again our elected leaders standing against the tide of hate and violence targeting our queer and transgender communities around the country. And not only is this leadership vital for our homegrown LGBTQ Minnesotans, but it's a loud message to those across the country that Minnesota and Minnesotans care about equity and justice, and we are welcoming to all. And that what other states are doing is wrong. Now, the importance of this message cannot be understated. LGBTQ Americans, especially young people, are in a mental health crisis in America. In our own Voices of Health community research, 85%, or 6 out of 7, LGBTQ Minnesotans experiences moderate to severe mental distress. And that is why Rainbow Health offers specialized mental health care, the kind of care that's banned in other states around the country and is available here in Minnesota. The kind of care for youth and adults that directly addresses the high rates of suicide, depression, and anxiety in our community. Our more than 15 therapists provide culturally responsive, high-quality, professional, and affirming mental health care that is trauma-informed, harm reduction-based, and meets people where they are. And because mental health means more than just talking to a therapist, at Rainbow Health we also connect folks to support groups, legal advocacy, preventative health, health insurance enrollment, substance abuse support, and more. At Rainbow Health, we help people thrive. And now, more than ever, it is vital that our queer and trans communities can access exactly this kind of care in Minnesota, mental health care that allows them to be their authentic selves. We are so grateful and proud to live in a city and a state that recognizes the need for this care, and we are thrilled to stand alongside our community partners to make sure people get connected to the care they need, whether they live here, are visiting here, or hopefully move here to this great state. If you are looking for that kind of care, or you're a provider looking for an equity-based home, check us out at rainbowhealth.org. And with that, I am proud to introduce the leader of this week's festivities and a central person in our community, Andy Otto with Twin Cities Pride Festival.
Oh, good afternoon. My name is Andy Otto and I use he, him pronouns. I am the executive director of Twin Cities Pride in this fantastic village that's being built behind me. I'm beyond honored to stand here with these folks doing incredible work here in the community, and we could not do it without each other and the support of one another.
All All right, listening in here to officials in Minnesota speaking on Pride Month, resources that are available, as well as a couple of other live pictures that we've been bringing you here as well. That bottom right-hand corner, that's from a Pride Parade happening in Minneapolis right now. We also